Coming up on today's show, could Dan Quinn be headed to Seattle as the next head football coach for your Seattle Seahawks? We'll explain coming up in just a matter of moments. Also, could the Seahawks be in the market to sign former Super Bowl champion quarterback Nick Foles? We'll explore that possibility coming up in just a matter of moments. Let's begin with the Dan Quinn idea. The Seahawks blog from fan-sided 12th Man Rising is suggesting that when the Seahawks face the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday, that they will be facing their next head coach, that he will be the replacement for Pete Carroll eventually, not necessarily right away. Let's make one thing very clear. Pete Carroll is unlikely to get fired. I know that the Seahawks don't look great right now. They're 6-5, likely to fall to 6-6 tomorrow, and still some more tough games ahead. But Pete Carroll has done a lot for this organization, a Super Bowl championship, guiding through this rebuild, not to mention the power that he has within this organization. A change right now seems unlikely, but down the road, Dan Quinn could be the guy. We'll explain why here in just a second. Quick poll for the 12s out there. You want the Seahawks to make the playoffs? Like the video. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx their chances. Don't make me come find you because you didn't like today's video. If you believe they're a playoff team, they're going to get the job done, like the video. If not, comment and tell me why you don't think so. All right, let's start out with this from Lee Val from 12th Man Rising as far as Dan Quinn goes. If he does decide to step down from coaching soon, though, his replacement might be looking at him across the field in Week 13 when Seattle plays the Dallas Cowboys. There may not be a better fit to be Seattle's next head coach than Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn. Not only is Quinn a fantastic defensive coach, but he had a fairly successful run as head coach of the Atlanta Falcons from 2015 until 2020. Quinn has the experience and talent to be a very good head coach, no matter if that happens with the Seahawks or otherwise. Now, I would have some trepidation personally with Dan Quinn based on how things ended in Atlanta. When Kyle Shanahan took off to go be the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, Dan Quinn was never the same with that Atlanta Falcons team ever again. Matt Ryan never played as well. That team never recovered from when they were leading 28-3 against the New England Patriots. Now, other than that, how things ended, he's got a great track record. Did a great job when he was a coordinator here in Seattle. Has done a fantastic job as the DC of the Dallas Cowboys. You could argue the best defensive coordinator in football, and taking Atlanta to the Super Bowl was a big deal. So all of that is good. But the way things ended has me hesitant, to say the least. Granted, there's no perfect coaching candidate out there. But just with that in mind, that leaves me a bit skeptical. What do you guys think? Should Dan Quinn be the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks? We're not saying tomorrow. We're not saying Pete Carroll's going to be gone anytime soon. But when that day comes, what do you think about the idea of Dan Quinn being that guy? Why for yes in, for no way in? Tell us what you think. Dan Quinn, currently the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, we mentioned was in Atlanta from 2015 to 2020. And when the Seahawks last won the Super Bowl, who was defensive coordinator? That was Dan Quinn back then as well. So the resume is there about Dan Quinn. And the thing that I would really like about what he would bring to this Seattle Seahawks team is this renewed emphasis when it comes to defense. It is no secret that when you talk about the Seattle Seahawks right now and over the last few years, that the defense just has not been what was expected of. We talked about it yesterday in the short here on the channel, that the Seahawks have a mediocre defense right now, and all the numbers back that up, and an expensive defense. They are not getting what they paid for. A lot of it comes down to coaching. In fact, most of it comes down to coaching. Meanwhile, a guy like Dan Quinn, look what he's done with the Dallas Cowboys defense. Numbers aren't as good as what they were last year necessarily, but they're still pretty dang good. Fourth in the league in points per game, third in yards per game, third in yards per play, second in opponent third down conversion, seventh in opposing touchdowns per game. Dan Quinn is doing a hell of a job. And for this Seahawks team, we always think about the Legion days and how great those days were. We want to bring those days back. Dan Quinn could be the guy to bring those days back to the Seattle Seahawks that we know and love, that we want to get back to. He's shown that with taking that to the Dallas Cowboys. Today's show is sponsored by Factor. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tackling all of your holiday to-dos. Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from 35-plus weekly flavored packed, fresh, never frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences. All delivered right to your door and ready to eat in 2 minutes. Enjoy extra convenience any time of day with an assortment of 45-plus add-ons to suit various preferences and tastes. Choose from breakfast items like our delicious apple cinnamon pancakes, bacon and cheddar egg bites, and potato, bacon, egg, breakfast skillets. Or for an easy wellness boost, try refreshing beverage options like cold-pressed juices, shakes, and smoothies. Head to factormeals.com/SeahawksChat50 and use code SeahawksChat50 to get 50% off. That's SeahawksChat50 at factormeals.com/SeahawksChat50 to get 50% off. I'm just getting hungry thinking about it, and it's healthy too. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Moving on, we turn our attention to former Super Bowl champion quarterback Nick Foles. Could he be on his way to Seattle? If Bleacher Report had its way, he would be, as they are suggesting that the Seahawks make a move for Foles. Here's what Matt Holder had to say. Well, Geno Smith was healthy enough to play on Thanksgiving. 2 Sundays ago proved that Drew Lock isn't a capable backup. Adding Foles would give the Seahawks another option to turn to in case Smith gets injured again or suffers a setback. Plus, it can't hurt that Foles has experience winning a Super Bowl as a QB2. Now, we told you a couple of weeks ago, as the Seahawks near the second half of the season, that there is a possibility that you might want to bring in a third quarterback as an emergency quarterback. And I'll say this, Foles is not what I had in mind as that guy. He was very bad the last time we saw him on the football field when he was playing for the Indianapolis Colts, Chicago Bears, and Jags and all that before that. He's clearly not the same quarterback he was when he won a Super Bowl. So I'm open to the possibility, shopping the quarterback market, seeing if there's some other options. But I would be surprised if Seattle's going for Nick Foles, of all people. I would take Colt McCoy any day right now over I would Nick Foles because he's clearly cooked. He's washed. He doesn't have anything left. What do you think about Nick Foles? Should the Seahawks sign Nick Foles? HY for hell yes. HN for hell no. I'm going hell no. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Foles, former Super Bowl MVP, Pro Bowler in 2013, also led the league in passer rating in 2013. He's had quite the story. The guy almost quit football altogether before ultimately making that Super Bowl run in Philly when he stepped in for Carson Wentz there. And, I mean, it's just been inconsistent. It's been the story of Nick Foles' career. And that drop-off last year, he had a less than 60% completion percentage in the 3 games he played. Granted, the Seahawks quarterback play has not been great as of late. Geno Smith having a down year in his own right, 12 touchdowns, 8 picks. But when we've seen Drew Lock, granted a small sample size, it hasn't been that great either, especially when he came in when Geno got hurt in that Rams game with that interception, and the offense was lethargic in that case. I understand if you have a lack of confidence in this quarterback room. Trust me, if you've seen the way this offense is going, I totally understand. But I don't think Nick Foles is necessarily that solution you're looking for some spark of some sorts. That's not going to work for me. If you enjoyed today's video, if you want the Seahawks to make the playoffs, like the video. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.